these?
Huh?
Add more light? Take like this.
See, the problem is it keeps changing color balance when I... The zebra calcites that we've been hunting are a unique feature within Wind Cave, it appears. They are striated bands of alternating dark and light calcite. For several years, we haven't been able to figure out exactly why they were there, how they worked. We only knew of a few very large dome-type examples. The Serengeti Dome is a dome that is about 12 feet deep by 6 feet across, by about 3 or 4 feet tall. And that was one of the largest known examples of a zebra calcite in the cave. We first visited the Serengeti Dome back in 2020. At that point, they didn't know why it was there, how it was formed, whether it was a lake-type sediment deposit or a crystal that grew after the rocks were all laid down. And that's kind of what kicked off this whole study. And since then, we've been finding more of these traditional-looking zebra-type calcites that look as though they've been grown within the rock. And we've also found evidence of very deteriorated and dissolved zebra calcites. And they don't look anything like a zebra stripe. But when you get down to it with the spectroscopy and the mineralogy, they exactly match the composition, indicating that what you see is the last few centimeters of a zebra calcite, where there may have been a much larger chunk that has weathered and fallen away.
Oh yeah, look at that! That's awesome.
See, with our spectroscopy, this often glows either very pure white, because it's a very pure calcite layer in the white, or it glows bright purplish pink, because it's got trace amounts of manganese trapped within the crystals. It's a very much how did the cave form type story, partly. But in another sense, it's also got that trapped manganese. Manganese can be used by living organisms, microbiology, to actually produce energy. And you can use that to drive energy within cellular life in some very extreme cases.
See if you can find the next outcropping.
So tracing these zebra calcites is another way of tracing this mineral as it's working its way through the cave.
Is it right here, or is it...
Just keep follow the line.
Oh, right there.
Here you go.
We are very confident that we know approximately where the zebras are going to fall within the strata of the cave now. They need to be in a location near limestone, but also near a softer layer as well to allow them to expand in a not watertight way. So the idea of zebras becoming more of a significant player within the cave is drawn from this idea that we've started predicting where they are.
Ah, yes.
I have the It's all packed up. Yeah.
Top of club room is full of zebra calcite.
Here, just sit down. Yeah.
Did we know that already?
No,
All right.
this is a new one. All right, so I need to find a survey marker up here. The several locations that we expected to see zebras, we were able to very easily find a zebra striation of some sort in those areas.
Got it.
The areas we did not expect to see zebras, we haven't seen any zebras.
Up there, some zebras up there. They're hard to see unless you're...
The biggest new thing that we've learned is that they may in fact be important in how the cave has been shaped over the eons. We've got the remnants plastered to many of the different ceilings, and right below them are where giant blocks have fallen off of the ceiling and smashed, causing huge open cavities. And so this may in fact be one of the ways that these larger cavities are being opened up. Is the zebra calcite itself is a much weaker mineral than the original limestone or the original chert. So when enough of the calcite crystals grew and caused an expansion joint, it basically pushed the two planes of rock apart. And if there was nothing supporting that lower plane of rock, the entire boulder collapsed down, opening up the void.
Beautiful.
Heading my
Really
direction,
is.
you're basically going to put your belly over that flat plateau. One of the big things we've been doing on this trip is tying zebra calcites to elevation within the cave. Trying to really determine, is there a zebra band that is running through the entire cavern system, or is it just sporadic pockets of zebra calcite?
There you are.
And from some of the initial work we've been doing, we seem to have two different band structures. One that is located between two chert layers and one that is located between a chert and a boxwork layer.
Good.
And many of our observations of the elevations along with the slope of the cave seem to be pointing to this idea that this is a widespread network that flows along the gradient of the cave.
Inch and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's...
I'll take
So that's the thing to keep in mind. If you're off by 1/10 of a foot, that's 1.5 inches.
Oh, okay. That makes me feel makes me feel a little better.
So the zebra findings we've been using to kind of map these layers through the cave. They're especially building up this picture of how important zebra calcites may have been in creating some of the breakdown areas of the cave. We need to revisit a few of these deeper zebra calcites. We found a few more both on the snake pit and in the climbings that we were doing to the coke room. And we need to tie those into our altitude maps and see if they continue the trend of this plane, which layer of the zebras that they are in. Are they in the high zebras? Are they in the low zebras? Or are they a brand new striation of zebras? So we've got a lot of a tie-in to do with the cave surveys and see where in altitude do these types of formations fall.
So when we're doing spectroscopy, we're able to put the sensor up to the calcite and determine what light is coming off of that
Got it.
specific material. We'll shine a UV light at it. You have to hit it at kind of a 90-degree angle with your UV light hitting one direction and then the sensor on the other. The light will bounce off into the sensor, into the spectrometer, and then we'll be able to detect what the wavelength is that's being bounced off.
In the lab, just making synthetic calcites that replicate the calcites in the wind cave, and just figuring out what materials there are in that.
I'm putting in just the stir bars.
If we can recreate the exact color in the lab that we see in the crystals at the cave, we've created an exact replicate of a cave crystal. That allows us to study these cave crystals and their properties using any type of technique we need to at the lab, without having to actually harvest or damage those crystals here in the cave.
Best part of the trip was really getting to see those zebra calcites. Prior to this trip, I really didn't have a good understanding of what they were or how they form, so getting to get my eyes on it was really valuable, and understanding our entire summer project